Good day, viewers, and welcome to African Prime Reports TV, your go-to source for in-depth news and analysis from across the continent. I'm your host, bringing you the latest development straight from the heart of Africa. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now to join our growing community and stay updated on all things Africa. Don't forget to like this video if you find it informative. Share it with your friends and family and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Today, we are diving into a pressing issue that is stirring tensions in Nigeria's Niger Delta region. And we'll also be unpacking the recent unrest in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, following a violent altercation that spiraled into protests and property destruction. We will focus on a viral video from Niger Delta activist and Kalabari chieftain, Asari Dakubo, who addressed the situation head-on. But that is not all. We'll also explore the backlash his words have ignited, particularly among the Igbo community, and discuss potential ways forward to restore peace. Stick with us till the end for some thought-provoking questions that we want you to engage with in the comments. Remember, your likes, shares, and comments are the best way to support African Prime Report TV and help us grow. Thank you for your continued support. It's what keeps us going. Stick with us till the end for some thought-provoking questions that we want you to engage with in the comments. Remember, your likes, shares, and comments are the best way to support African Prime Report TV and help us grow. Thank you for your continued support. It's what keeps us going. Let's start by setting the scene. On Sunday, February 15, 2026, Asari Dakubo shared a video on Facebook that quickly went viral. This came amid growing unrest in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State. Reports indicate that the trouble began with a violent clash between two individuals. What started as a personal dispute escalated rapidly into widespread demonstrations, with protesters taking to the streets and unfortunately leading to the destruction of properties in various parts of the state. Eyewitness accounts and local media suggest that some of these disturbances involved supporters of the indigenous people of Biafra, a group advocating for the secession of southeastern Nigeria. This has raised serious concern about potential ethnic and religious groups, as the incidents reportedly include attacks on places of worship and businesses. The atmosphere in Port Harcourt has been tense, with residents fearing that a localized issue could ignite broader conflicts. To give you a clearer picture, let's hear from some background on the region. Rivers State is a melting pot of culture, home to diverse ethnic groups, including the Ijaw, Ikwere, and significant populations of Igbos and others. Historically, the Niger Delta has seen its shares of agitations, from resources control demands to militant activities, but in recent years, there has been a push for peaceful coexistence. This latest flare-up threatens to undo that process. As we dive deeper, it's important to note that authorities have been quick to respond. Security agencies are on the ground, investigating the initial altercation and working to prevent further violence. But the spotlight has shifted to Dakubo's video, which has amplified the discourse. Asari Dakubo, a prominent figure in the Niger Delta, known for his activism and leadership in the Kalabari community, didn't mince words in his address. In the video, he directly tackled the unrest, warning against allowing external conflicts to spill into Rivers State. Quoting Dakubo, "If they want to fight their war, they should go back to their state. We won't allow it in ours." He was clear that Rivers State has its own unique identity and that peaceful coexistence among its residents must be preserved at all costs. Dakubo emphasized that no group, be it ethnic, religious, or political, has the right to impose conflicts on the people of Rivers. He went further, calling out the transformation of what he described as a personal or localized issue into a broader ethnic confrontation. According to him, this approach is not only irresponsible but downright dangerous. Dakubo highlighted the risk of continued property destruction, especially targeting places of worship, which could provoke wider instability across the region. In a call for unity, he reminded everyone that the residents of Rivers State value their togetherness and will resist any attempt to destabilize their communities. Wrapping up his message, Dakubo urged all parties involved to exercise restraint. He stressed the importance of allowing security agencies to handle any criminal matters professionally and without bias. For Dakubo, peace and order in Rivers State are non-negotiable and must be protected by all lawful means. This speech, while amid at the escalating tensions, has instead become a flashpoint for debate. Dakubo's background as a former militant leader who has transitioned into politics and activism adds weight to his words, but it also invites scrutiny. Supporters see him as a defender of local interests, while critics argue his rhetoric could inflame divisions.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're listening to me. IPOB supporters have invaded Rivers State and on our soil had killed, destroyed the properties of Muslim Northerners. Muslim Northerners for a crime committed by a Christian. Mosque 6 were vandalized. One mosque was burnt down, was burned and totally vandalized. When I heard the information yesterday about Muslim being attacked, in fact, it was a Christian relation living at Obibo that called me that oil mill is an old area, Northerners and others were fighting because an Aboki killed a Christian. And immediately I reached out to members of the Northern community. Immediately, I started making calls. And most of them were unaware of what was happening. In fact, I don't want to mention their name, but one of them told me that the person is lying. There is no such incident. And immediately he said, I said, look, try to find out. And immediately swung to action. And he later called me that indeed there was a riot going on and Northerners are being attacked. And he was in a position as the leader, one of the leaders of the Northern community, to immediately do something about it. So I urged him to immediately do something about it. I called some security officers immediately to alert them, which they told me they already know, and they are trying to put mechanism in place to stop what was happening. Finally, in the night, because my phone kept ringing and we kept talking. Finally, in the night, I got one of the Northern leaders, one of the Arewa leaders, who told me that two Christians fought. One from Benue, a Tifi man, and the other one from Adamawa. The one from Adamawa, two Christians. The one from Adamawa stabbed the one from Benue to death. Immediately, the Igbos around took it over and started a Aboki must go protest. Destroyed all the shops owned mostly by Northern Muslims. I don't think there was any Christian shop that was destroyed. And attack mosque, vandalize the oil mill mosque, but they attack daily the one mosque. And it is feared that people must have been captured and have been killed. 2 Christians what? 1 Christian stabbed another Christian to death. Because they are from the north, immediately it became a fight by Igbo's element. When we will react, they should not turn our state to battlefield. If they want to fight their war, they should go to their own state. We will not allow it in our own state. Because when we will react, we will do that. Why? By that time they will run. You can run anywhere. You can't turn our state to battleground to fight your ethnic war, to fight your religious war. Rivers State.
Dakubo's remarks have not gone without backlash, particularly from Igbo community. Many Igbos and their representatives have expressed outrage, viewing his statements as inflammatory and divisive. For instance, the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo Rivers State chapter has publicly condemned Dakubo's outburst, labeling it as hate speech. They accuse him of falsely implicating Igbos in attacks on northern Muslims and attempting to turn Rivers State into a battleground. In a statement, Ohaneze described Dakubo's video as venomous and inciting, arguing that his claims are unfounded and aimed at putting Igbos against their neighbors. They urged the public to disregard his propositions, emphasizing that Igbos are not planning any war or religious conflict in Rivers State. This response highlights the deep-seated frustrations, with Ohaneze calling for authorities to address such emotional outbursts that could mislead the gullible. On social media, the anger is palpable. Posts from Igbo supporters and Biafran advocates have branded Dakubo as an evil idiot filled with hatred and anger for the Igbo people. Some have accused his associates of being involved in violence against Igbos elsewhere. Flipping the narrative back to him, this reaction underscores a broader sentiment of betrayal and fear that Dakubo's words could exacerbate ethnic tension in a region already prone to such issues. Experts we've consulted suggest this backlash stems from historical grievances. The Igbo community, still healing from the scar of the Nigerian Civil War, is sensitive to any rhetoric that paints them as aggressors or outsiders in other parts of the country. Dakubo's call for people to go back to their state has been interpreted by many as xenophobic, fueling calls for unity and dialogue instead. So, where do we go from here? Amid the anger and accusation, there is a consensus emerging on the need for calm and constructive steps. First and foremost, community leaders from all sides, including Ijaw, Igbo, and other groups, should convene for dialogue. Initiatives like inter-ethnic forums could help address misunderstandings and foster mutual respect. Security agencies must step up their game, ensuring impartial investigations into the initial incident and any subsequent violence. Prosecution should be swift and fair to deter future escalations. Additionally, the government at both state and federal levels could invest in community programs that promote unity, such as cultural exchange and economic collaborations in the Niger Delta. Civil society organizations and religious leaders have a role too, preaching tolerance and de-escalating inflammatory narratives. Social media platforms should monitor and comb hate speech to prevent the spread of misinformation. Ultimately, the way forward lies in recognizing Rivers State's diversity as a strength, not a weakness. By prioritizing peace over division, the region can avoid the pitfalls of past conflicts and build a more harmonious future. And that wraps up our report on the unrest in Port Harcourt and Asari Dakubo's controversial address. We've covered the incident, the speech, the ignited anger among the Igbo community, and potential ways to move forward. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Your time means a lot to us here at African Prime Reports TV. If this report resonates with you, show your support by liking, sharing, and commenting below. It's the only way you can help our platform grow and continue bringing you quality content like this. We truly appreciate your support in our journey so far. To keep the conversation going, here are some engaging questions for you. What are your thoughts on Asari Dakubo's warning? Do they help or hinder peace? How can ethnic groups in Nigeria better promote unity in diverse states like Rivers? And what role should social media play in preventing hate speech? Drop your answers in the comments. We read everyone. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and remember, African Prime Report TV is here for you. Subscribe if you haven't, like, share, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.